everyone. Happy Monday. And today is June 1st. So I decided to do things a little differently. Instead of counting the days that I've missed you, which has been a lot, I am going to start counting positively the days until I get to see you again. So this number will get smaller, and that's what we want to see. Right now, it's 72 days until I see my kiddos again, but it will get smaller as we go through summer. Okay? And happy birthday to Atalia today and my cousin Michelle. All right. We are still reading Ralph S. Mouse by Beverly Cleary, and we are on page 6. Oh, yeah. Ralph has to run the maze. Ooh. Come on, Ralph, old buddy. Ryan scooped Ralph out of his fishbowl. Show them how smart you are. No one thought there was anything unusual about Ryan speaking to Ralph when Ralph was in plain sight. Children often talk to their pets. Do you guys talk to your pets? Because I talk to my dog all the time. Ralph struggled in Ryan's hand, which smelled like egg sandwich that he had eaten for lunch. Take it easy, Ralph, said Ryan. You can do it. Oh gosh, I'm making my hair worse. I need to warm up first, squeaked Ralph. Ryan paid no attention. Possibly he did not hear because of the murmurs of excitement as students gathered around for a better view of the maze. He sat Ralph down in front of an opening in a cardboard wall and said, "When Brad fires the cap pistol, go for the peanut butter." Ralph shook his paws in a last desperate attempt to limber them. At the same time, he sniffed, trying to get wind of the peanut butter at the end of the maze. Unfortunately, the room was full of really confusing odors: popcorn, tomato sauce of tacos eaten by those who bought school lunches, peanut butter, bologna, egg, orange, banana, eaten by those who brought lunches from home. Ralph caught a whiff of grape bubblegum, the reek of sweaty socks, and the scented soap fragrance of Miss K. By the time the teacher said, "On your mark," Ralph was completely muddled. He crouched, waiting for the starting gun, which didn't go off. "My caps are stuck," said Brad. After the heat of the fishbowl, the cooler air made Ralph's muscles feel rigid, like real stiff. He felt as if he had been waiting forever. You want to see the maze? Really well done. Can you find Ralph? I'm going to hold it up there for a second because I want you to see if you can figure out the maze. Think you got it? Let's see if Ralph gets it. At last, Brad fired the cap gun. Bang! "Go, Ralph, go!" shouted the class. The noise was enough to unnerve even the bravest mouse. However, since Ralph was pointed toward the opening of the maze, he knew where to start. He ran through the opening and bumped his nose against a cardboard wall. Then he turned the other way. "No!" shrieked the children. "No, not that way, the other way!" Ralph followed their direction and bumped his nose again. "My motorcycle," he thought in despair. "I'll never get my motorcycle back if I don't do it right. Ralph, don't let me down!" Ryan's voice rose above the shouting. Down among the partitions of the maze, with so many lunch-smelling rooters breathing on him, Ralph had no idea of the direction of the peanut butter. "Ralph D. Mouse!" Brad yelled. "Everybody, be quiet! Give him a chance!" screamed Melissa. Suddenly, Ralph was angry. He knew he was really a smart mouse. Why should he have to run around banging his nose in front of all these tacos and sandwich gobblers? Nimbly, he leaped to the top of the partitions, caught a whiff of pure peanut butter, and took off across the top edges of the maze. He would show them who was smart. So instead of going through the maze, this is what he decided to do. He jumped up and ran across the top. Look at his face. He looks so proud of himself. It's okay. You can come in. Let's see. Ralph was halfway to the peanut butter when he felt Ryan's egg sandwich smelling hand close around his body. "Hey," said Ryan, "you aren't supposed to do it that way." Darn it. Ralph, feeling that the world was unfair, found himself back at the beginning of the maze. He was furious. No one had said he had to bump his nose on every single dead end in the maze. Why should he? The object was to reach the peanut butter as fast as possible. On your mark, said Miss Kay a second time. Bang went the cap gun. Ooh! Ralph leaped to the top of the partition, nimbly raced across the top of the maze, and filled his mouth with peanut butter just as the last bell rang and the room mother began to pass out bags of popcorn. Ryan picked up Ralph and poked him into his shirt pocket. I told you that wasn't the way you were supposed to do it. He sounded disgusted. Ralph, who was unable to defend himself when his jaws were stuck with peanut butter, felt Ryan was most unjust. Class, I wish we had more time, said Miss Kay, as her students crunched popcorn and scrambled for their wraps. Time and school buses waited for no one. Hey, Melissa, said Ryan, how come you're taking your boots home? Because my mother says I can't watch TV all weekend if I don't, answered Melissa. Ralph struggled to free his jaws. Would he get his motorcycle back, or wouldn't he? He had to know. Ralph, dumb mouse, said Brad. Just because you don't have a mouse, Ryan sounded angry as he slid his arms into his parka. You're jealous, that's what you are. Who wants a smelly old mouse? Scoffed Brad. You stink. So does Ralph D. Mouse. Be quiet, said Ryan. Make me, said Brad. Ralph was terrified by the sound of scuffling. With great effort, he freed his jaws and managed to make a muffled little squeak. Me, I'm in your pocket. Don't let him hit me. His voice was so smothered by the parka, which is a coat, that no one could hear him. But Ryan must have remembered because he cupped one hand over his pocket, which left only the other hand for protecting himself. He was pushed, bumped against someone, and fell to the floor. The class began to shout, fight, 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 and crowd around as popcorn scattered. Boys! Miss Kay's usually gentle voice cut through the commotion. Hurting people does not solve anything. It only makes things worse. Ryan got to his feet. Ralph, shaken but relieved to find himself uninjured, peeped out of the shirt pocket. To his horror, he saw Ryan reach into the pocket of his parka and pull out a crushed crash helmet and a little red motorcycle, broken in two. His precious motorcycle, his only means of transportation, 4 feet didn't count, was destroyed. Ralph experienced the darkest moment of his life. I'll get you for this, Brad, said Ryan, as Ralph slid back to the depths of the pocket. You broke Ralph's motorcycle. Brad laughed. Ha! He could. He had not been knocked down. Are you crazy or something? He asked. What do you mean, Ralph's motorcycle? Boys, that's enough, said Miss Kay. Hurry along, Ryan, or you will miss your bus. And here's a picture of the boys fighting. And that's Ryan on the floor. I don't see the motorcycle, though. In the hall, Ralph emerged from the pocket to confront Ryan. Now see what you've done because you wouldn't give me back my motorcycle? You've gone and wrecked it. Ryan, flushed and humiliated, turned on his friend. I don't care if your motorcycle's broken, he informed Ralph. It serves you right for not doing what you were supposed to. I never should have brought you to school in the first place. See what happened? Because I tried to be Mr. Nice Guy? Some nice guy, said Ralph, darn it, with a tiny little snarl. Wouldn't even let me have my own motorcycle, and now look at it. Busted. Well, I've had enough. I'm getting out of here. With that declaration, Ralph climbed out of Ryan's pocket, ran down his jeans, and jumped to the floor, dodging waffle stompers and boots as he fled. Watch it, called Ryan. Don't get stepped on. He turned and ran for the bus. Ralph dodged feet until he was safe against the wall, where no one would step on him or even notice him in the crowd. As soon as all the children had left, he made his way to the library without bothering to nibble any of the popcorn squashed on the floor. The torn book bag in which he had enjoyed such comfortable naps was gone. But he found a fresh bag, gnawed a new hole in the brown paper, and crawled into the soft, ready-chewed stuffing. Oh, how good it felt, warm and cozy and comforting, after all he had been through this terrible afternoon. In the hall, Mr. Costa was sweeping up popcorn with his broom while his transistor radio sang a sorrowful song about a broken-hearted man trying to hitch a ride on a lonely stretch of highway while the coyotes howled in the night. Country music for you. After Mr. Costa left, the school was silent. It was a deserted place. The next morning, the children did not return. Ralph, who did not understand that there was no school on Saturday and Sunday, had never been so alone in his life. He stood in the cold, empty hall and squeaked as loud as he could, but his tiny voice would not even raise an echo. All weekend, he roamed the desolate halls and classroom, half-heartedly nibbling whatever he could find to eat, going because he missed his motorcycle so much, and wondering if he was doomed to roam forever the lonely corridors of the Irwin J. Sneed Elementary School. Why didn't the children return? I guess it's only a weekend. Can you imagine if it had happened during COVID-19? He'd be alone for a long time. Ralph thought of the old hotel with its shabby lobby warmed by a crackling fire. He missed the reassuring tick of the rasping old clock. He missed watching TV and the activity in the lobby, the arrival and departure of guests, and the arguments among the staff. He missed old Matt, his protector, and supplies of peanuts and popcorn from the Jumping Frog Lounge. He wondered if his plan to make the little mice leave the lobby had worked, and if Matt still had his job. Ralph discovered he even missed, sort of, his little brothers and sisters and cousins. He wondered if the littlest one still fell over his own feet and became tangled in the fringe of the carpet. He wondered what they would say if they could see him now, cold and lonely in the vast, empty school. He also wondered what they would say if he went home with Ryan without his motorcycle. Something like, yeah, serves you right for not wanting to give us rides. The scoffing of his relatives was something Ralph could not face. Never. As he walked slowly back to the book bag in the library, he heard a dog bark in the distance, and he was reminded of the coyotes that howled in the night and that song about the lonely man trying to hitch a ride on the highway. Man, what a sad world he lived in. I think Ralph's feeling a little sorry for himself. So chapter 7 is called The Cucaracha Voice. And we'll find out about that tomorrow. So, again, happy birthday to Atalia, and I will... Oh, and I had some kids join me on Zoom today. I almost forgot. We had Faith, Jessie, Edwida, Santana, Victoria, and birthday girl Atalia. All right, have a great day or evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Love you. Bye.